If this message appears in your feed right now, it's because your consciousness has reached a threshold where ordinary sleep can no longer provide the deep restoration and cellular regeneration your awareness is calling forth. The restless nights, the waking up tired, the feeling that 8 hours of sleep somehow leaves you more depleted than refreshed. All of it has been preparing you for this recognition that true restoration happens not during unconscious sleep, but during quantum coherent rest states that reprogram your entire biological system overnight. This specific quantum sleep hack operates through what scientists call coherent delta wave entrainment, a state where your brain waves synchronize with the 0.5 Hz frequency of the Earth's magnetic field, while your consciousness remains subtly aware during the deepest phases of sleep. In this state, your DNA literally reprograms itself. Your cellular regeneration accelerates by 300%, and your nervous system performs healing processes that are impossible during ordinary unconscious sleep or even deep meditation. The synchronicity that brought you to this understanding isn't coincidental. Your sleep patterns have been shifting because your bioelectric field can no longer achieve optimal restoration through conventional sleep cycles. The tossing and turning, the 3 a.m. awakenings, the dreams that feel more real than waking life. All of these are indicators that your consciousness is ready to access quantum sleep states, where time dilates, healing accelerates, and your body literally rewrites its biological programming while you rest. Your soul has been broadcasting a frequency that only becomes detectable when your awareness evolves beyond survival-based sleep patterns toward regenerative rest states that transcend ordinary biological limitations. Every night of poor sleep has been preparing your nervous system to recognize and stabilize in the quantum coherence that makes overnight body reprogramming not just possible, but inevitable. Right now, as these words reach your consciousness, something is activating in your pineal gland, the master regulator of your sleep-wake cycles and the biological antenna that connects your brain to quantum field information. Can you sense that subtle pressure or tingling in the center of your head? That's not coincidence. That's your pineal gland beginning to recalibrate for quantum sleep states, where consciousness maintains awareness while the body undergoes profound regenerative processes. The exhaustion you feel upon waking isn't evidence that you're not getting quality sleep. It's evidence that your consciousness is trying to access quantum rest states, but lacks the coherence techniques needed to maintain awareness during the deepest phases of cellular regeneration. When you learn to hack your sleep cycles using quantum coherence principles, you don't just feel rested, you wake up literally reprogrammed at the cellular level. This quantum sleep hack doesn't require any external devices, supplements, or sleep optimization protocols. It requires understanding how consciousness can maintain subtle awareness during delta wave states, allowing you to participate consciously in the healing and regeneration processes that your body performs automatically during deep sleep. When you master this technique, every night becomes an opportunity for profound biological transformation. Every tradition of conscious dreaming, lucid sleep practices, and yogic sleep states has been pointing toward this same recognition. Sleep is not unconsciousness. Sleep is consciousness temporarily withdrawing from external sensory input to focus entirely on internal regeneration and system optimization. The quantum sleep hack teaches you how to maintain just enough awareness during this process to accelerate and direct the reprogramming that naturally occurs during rest. You are not someone who has sleep problems that need to be fixed. You are infinite healing consciousness, temporarily experiencing suboptimal rest patterns while preparing to discover how sleep can become the most powerful tool for biological transformation and life enhancement that you have ever accessed. Your relationship with sleep has been confusing and frustrating, hasn't it? No matter how many hours you spend in bed, you wake feeling like your body never fully restored itself. You've tried everything: sleep hygiene protocols, blue light blocking, temperature optimization, supplement regimens. But nothing addresses the core issue that your consciousness is calling for a completely different quality of rest than what conventional sleep provides. The 3 a.m. awakenings have been happening more frequently, and during these moments of middle-of-the-night consciousness, you feel more alert and aware than you do during many waking hours. This isn't insomnia or sleep disruption. This is your consciousness naturally trying to access quantum sleep states where awareness remains subtly present during the deepest phases of restoration. Your nervous system is preparing for conscious participation in the healing processes that happen during sleep. You've been having dreams that feel more vivid and meaningful than your ordinary waking experiences. Dreams where you receive information, heal from traumas, or experience states of consciousness that seem to download directly into your cellular memory. These aren't random neural firings during REM sleep. These are glimpses of quantum sleep states where consciousness can actively participate in the reprogramming processes that restore and optimize every system in your body. Your sleep needs seem to fluctuate in ways that don't match conventional sleep science recommendations. Sometimes you feel completely restored after 4 hours of deep rest, while other times 8 hours leaves you feeling depleted and foggy. This inconsistency isn't evidence of sleep disorders. It's your consciousness learning to distinguish between ordinary unconscious sleep and quantum coherent rest states that accomplish far more restoration in shorter periods of time. The dreams you've been having about flying, breathing underwater, or existing in spaces that don't follow normal physical laws aren't escapist fantasies. They're your consciousness exploring the expanded possibilities that become available when awareness operates beyond the limitations of waking state physics. During quantum sleep states, consciousness can access information and healing capabilities that transcend ordinary biological constraints. You've noticed that certain sleeping positions, room arrangements, or bedtime rituals seem to dramatically affect your sleep quality in ways that seem disproportionate to the changes you're making. This is because quantum sleep states are highly sensitive to electromagnetic fields, vibrational frequencies, and the coherence of your immediate environment. Your consciousness is naturally seeking the conditions that support quantum coherent rest. The exhaustion you feel isn't just physical tiredness. It's the accumulated effect of trying to restore your system using conventional sleep patterns, while your consciousness is calling for quantum rest states that operate at completely different frequencies. You've been trying to charge a quantum device using classical electricity, and the mismatch is creating the fatigue and sleep dissatisfaction you've been experiencing. Your body has been giving you signals during sleep that conventional sleep medicine can't explain. Spontaneous healing of minor injuries during sleep, waking with solutions to problems you fell asleep thinking about. Physical symptoms that improve dramatically after certain types of rest, but not others. These are indicators that your consciousness can access quantum healing states during sleep when the right conditions are present. The timing of your sleep challenges hasn't been random. They've intensified during periods of personal growth, spiritual development, or life transitions, because these are precisely the times when consciousness needs access to quantum sleep states for accelerated integration and cellular reprogramming. Your sleep issues are actually preparation for sleep mastery. Even your sensitivity to sleeping environments has increased. You can no longer sleep well in hotels, on airplanes, or in spaces with high electromagnetic interference because your nervous system is becoming calibrated for the specific conditions that support quantum coherent rest. This isn't difficult or picky. It's evolutionary refinement toward optimal restoration states. Every night of restless sleep, every morning of waking exhausted, every sleep challenge you've experienced has been your consciousness preparing for this recognition that true restoration happens when awareness learns to maintain subtle presence during the deepest phases of cellular regeneration. Your sleep struggles weren't obstacles to overcome. They were preparation for mastering quantum rest states that transcend ordinary biological limitations. The frustration you felt with conventional sleep advice and optimization protocols tells a perfect story. Sleep hygiene rules that didn't improve your rest quality were teaching you that external conditions alone can't create the coherence necessary for quantum sleep states. Supplements that provided temporary improvement but didn't address the core issue were showing you that biochemical support can't substitute for consciousness-based sleep mastery. Sleep tracking devices that measured duration and stages but couldn't explain why you still felt tired were demonstrating that quantitative sleep metrics miss the qualitative transformation that happens during quantum coherent rest. None of these approaches failed because they were inherently wrong. They were incomplete because they addressed sleep as unconscious biological recovery rather than conscious participation in cellular reprogramming. Every frustrating night was preparing you to understand that the quantum sleep hack requires not just optimal sleep conditions, but specific techniques for maintaining awareness during the delta wave states where the deepest healing and regeneration occurs. Think of how a caterpillar must completely dissolve its structure during the metamorphosis process, yet somehow maintains just enough organizational intelligence to guide the transformation into butterfly form. Quantum sleep states work similarly. Your conscious awareness becomes subtle enough not to interfere with automatic healing processes, yet present enough to accelerate and direct the reprogramming that naturally occurs during deep rest. Every time you've experienced the gap between how rested you wanted to feel and how tired you actually were upon waking, you've been building what sleep researchers call restoration pressure, the accumulated need for the deeper qualities of rest that only quantum coherent sleep can provide. This pressure is what eventually creates the breakthrough into conscious sleep mastery, where every night becomes an opportunity for profound biological transformation. The timing of your sleep challenges has corresponded perfectly with periods when your consciousness was ready to evolve beyond survival-based rest patterns toward regenerative sleep states that optimize rather than merely maintain your biological systems. What seemed like sleep problems were actually consciousness calling your attention to the possibility of using rest as a tool for accelerated healing and life enhancement. Your body has been like an advanced computer trying to run on an outdated operating system. The crashes, glitches, and poor performance you've experienced, the restless nights, morning fatigue, inconsistent sleep quality, have been the signs that your biological hardware is ready for the quantum sleep operating system that can fully utilize your body's regenerative capabilities. The resistance you felt toward accepting that declining sleep quality is just part of aging has been your deeper intelligence, recognizing that deteriorating rest patterns aren't natural law, but programming that can be rewritten. The quantum sleep hack literally updates your cellular software from aging algorithms to regeneration algorithms, from maintenance mode to optimization mode. Even your dreams about healing, flying, or accessing superhuman capabilities haven't been escapist fantasies. They've been consciousness preparing you to recognize that during quantum sleep states, many limitations that seem fixed during waking consciousness become fluid and malleable. Your dream experiences have been training grounds for the expanded possibilities that become available during conscious rest states. The electromagnetic sensitivity you've developed around sleep environments, the inability to rest well in chaotic or incoherent spaces, the need for specific conditions to achieve quality rest. All of this has been preparing your nervous system to maintain the delicate coherence necessary for quantum sleep states, where healing accelerates and biological reprogramming occurs naturally. Something profound is shifting in your sleep physiology right now. Can you sense it? That subtle relaxation beginning to move through your nervous system, the gentle slowing of your mental activity, the feeling that your body is preparing for a completely different quality of rest than you've ever experienced before. This isn't ordinary tiredness approaching. This is quantum sleep coherence beginning to establish itself as your natural state, where consciousness maintains just enough awareness to participate in the profound healing and reprogramming that happens during the deepest phases of rest. Your pineal gland is literally recalibrating as this recognition deepens. This small but crucial gland in the center of your brain is often called the seat of the soul because it serves as the biological interface between consciousness and physical form. During quantum sleep states, your pineal gland produces not just melatonin for sleep regulation, but specific neurochemical compounds that allow consciousness to remain subtly aware while your body undergoes accelerated regeneration and cellular reprogramming. The brainwave patterns of your sleep cycles are reorganizing as you receive this information. Instead of the abrupt transitions between wake, REM, and deep sleep states that characterize ordinary rest patterns, your nervous system is preparing for the smooth, coherent wave transitions that define quantum sleep. In these states, your delta waves synchronize with the Earth's magnetic field while maintaining the subtle awareness frequencies that allow conscious participation in healing processes. Your entire electromagnetic field is shifting into coherence patterns that support overnight biological transformation. The heart-brain synchronization that researchers measure during optimal sleep states is beginning to stabilize in your system. But here's what conventional sleep science doesn't understand. When heart and brain coherence reaches specific thresholds during rest, consciousness can maintain awareness while the body performs healing processes that typically require weeks or months to accomplish. Breathe with me and let your nervous system settle into the rhythms that support quantum sleep states. Notice how each breath seems to naturally slow and deepen, how your thoughts become more spacious and less urgent, how your body feels simultaneously more relaxed and more alive. This is what happens when consciousness prepares for the quantum sleep hack. Awareness becoming subtle enough not to interfere with automatic healing processes, yet present enough to accelerate and direct the regeneration that occurs during rest. But here's what's building in your sleep physiology that will completely transform how your body uses rest for healing and optimization. The recognition that sleep isn't unconsciousness, interrupted by occasional dream awareness. Sleep is consciousness temporarily withdrawing from external sensory input to focus entirely on internal system optimization, cellular regeneration, and biological reprogramming. When you learn the quantum sleep hack, you don't just feel rested. You wake up literally transformed at the cellular level. The reason this sleep mastery is becoming available to you now is because your consciousness has reached a level of coherence that can maintain subtle awareness during delta wave states without interfering with the automatic healing processes that happen during deep rest. What mystics have known through practices like yoga nidra and what neuroscientists are discovering about conscious sleep states is becoming your direct experience rather than theoretical knowledge. The quantum sleep hack operates through what researchers call lucid delta states, brainwave patterns where consciousness maintains just enough awareness to observe and gently guide the healing processes that your body performs automatically during deep sleep. In these states, your cellular regeneration accelerates, your DNA repair mechanisms optimize, your immune system strengthens, and your nervous system literally rewrites limiting patterns that have been stored in your biological memory. Feel this settling energy moving through your system as we explore the most profound secret of quantum sleep mastery. The technique that allows consciousness to participate in overnight body reprogramming without interfering with the natural healing processes that require deep rest states. This isn't about forcing awareness during sleep or trying to control unconscious processes. This is about learning the delicate balance of presence that accelerates healing while honoring the wisdom of your body's natural restoration cycles. But there's something specific that consciousness must understand about maintaining awareness during deep sleep states, and it requires releasing every belief you've been conditioned to accept about sleep as unconscious downtime rather than conscious participation in the most profound healing and optimization processes your body can perform. 3 years ago, my sleep was completely dysfunctional despite trying every optimization protocol imaginable. I had invested in the most advanced sleep tracking technology, followed strict sleep hygiene protocols, experimented with countless supplements and nootropics, optimized my bedroom environment down to temperature, humidity, and electromagnetic field measurements. Yet I consistently woke feeling exhausted, as if my body had spent the night fighting rather than restoring itself. The frustration was devastating because I understood intellectually that sleep was supposed to be the body's primary repair and regeneration time. But my experience contradicted everything I had learned about sleep science. I would spend 8 hours in bed, achieve what the devices measured as adequate deep sleep and REM cycles, yet wake feeling more depleted than when I went to sleep. It felt like my consciousness and my body were operating on completely different frequencies that couldn't synchronize. The breakthrough came during what initially seemed like the worst period of sleep disruption I had ever experienced. For weeks, I was waking consistently at 3:47 a.m. in a state of unusual alertness, not the anxious wakefulness of insomnia, but a calm, expanded awareness that felt more coherent than my normal waking consciousness. Instead of trying to force myself back to sleep, I decided to explore what was happening during these spontaneous awakening states. During one of these middle-of-the-night awareness periods, I made a discovery that changed everything. I realized that my consciousness was naturally trying to maintain some level of presence during the deepest phases of sleep, but I had been trained to believe that good sleep meant complete unconsciousness. The exhaustion I felt upon waking wasn't from poor sleep quality. It was from the internal conflict between my consciousness trying to participate in healing processes and my conditioned belief that awareness during sleep was problematic. I began experimenting with what I started calling conscious rest states, allowing my body to enter deep sleep while maintaining just enough awareness to observe the incredible healing and regeneration processes that were happening automatically. The first time I successfully maintained this delicate balance, I experienced something that seemed impossible according to conventional understanding of sleep and healing. During one night of quantum sleep, I watched my consciousness participate in what felt like a complete cellular regeneration process. I could sense my DNA repair mechanisms activating, my immune system optimizing, my nervous system literally rewriting stress patterns that had been stored in my biological memory for years. When I woke the next morning, I felt like I had undergone months of healing in a single night. But more importantly, the process continued to accelerate with each night of practice. Within weeks of learning to access quantum sleep states consistently, my biomarkers improved dramatically. Inflammatory markers decreased, stress hormone levels optimized, sleep efficiency increased so much that I required fewer hours of rest while achieving far greater restoration. But the most profound change was that my sleep became an active tool for biological transformation rather than passive recovery time. I discovered that during quantum sleep states, consciousness can actually direct healing toward specific areas of the body, accelerate the integration of new learning and memory consolidation, and even reprogram limiting beliefs and emotional patterns that are stored at the cellular level. Sleep became not just rest, but the most powerful healing and optimization tool I had ever accessed. The quantum sleep hack taught me that the difference between ordinary sleep and conscious rest states isn't the amount of awareness you maintain. It's the quality of presence. Too much conscious activity interferes with automatic healing processes. Too little awareness means missing the opportunity to participate in and accelerate the regeneration that happens during deep rest. The technique requires finding the precise balance where consciousness can observe and gently guide healing without disrupting the natural wisdom of sleep cycles. Now I use sleep as deliberate practice for biological transformation, emotional healing, and even creative problem solving. Every night becomes an opportunity to reprogram limiting patterns, accelerate physical healing, and literally wake up as an optimized version of myself. This isn't about lucid dreaming or trying to stay awake during sleep. It's about discovering the profound healing that becomes possible when consciousness learns to participate consciously in the restoration processes that happen naturally during rest. If you've been frustrated by sleep that doesn't truly restore you, if you've sensed that your body is capable of far more profound healing and regeneration than ordinary rest provides, if you've had glimpses of the expanded awareness that seems to be available during certain sleep states, then you're ready to learn the quantum sleep hack that makes overnight body reprogramming not just possible, but inevitable. Subscribe and keep walking this path of healing with us, not just to this channel, but to this recognition that sleep is not unconscious downtime. It's conscious participation in the most profound healing and optimization processes your body can perform. Here's what sleep medicine, neuroscience, and even advanced sleep optimization protocols don't want you to understand about the quantum sleep hack. Every external approach to improving sleep quality, devices, supplements, environmental controls, sleep hygiene protocols, actually reinforces the belief that sleep is unconscious biological recovery rather than conscious participation in cellular reprogramming and overnight biological transformation. The shocking truth that revolutionizes everything about sleep and healing is this: your body doesn't repair itself while you're unconscious. Your body repairs itself while consciousness temporarily withdraws from external sensory input to focus entirely on internal system optimization. The difference is profound. Unconscious sleep allows for maintenance and basic recovery. Conscious rest states enable acceleration of healing and complete biological reprogramming. The quantum sleep hack operates through what neuroscientists call hypnagogic coherence, the delicate state between waking and sleeping, where consciousness maintains just enough awareness to participate in healing processes without interfering with the automatic regeneration cycles that require deep rest. In this state, your brain waves synchronize with healing frequencies, while your cellular machinery performs optimization processes that are impossible during either full waking consciousness or complete unconscious sleep. When you master quantum sleep states, your DNA literally receives different instructions than it does during ordinary sleep. Instead of basic maintenance and repair signals, your genetic expression shifts toward regeneration, optimization, and enhancement protocols. The difference in cellular activity between unconscious sleep and quantum coherent rest is so dramatic that one night of conscious sleep can accomplish healing that would normally require weeks of conventional recovery time. But here's what makes this revolutionary. The quantum sleep hack doesn't require forcing awareness during sleep or interfering with natural sleep cycles. It requires understanding that consciousness naturally wants to participate in healing processes. You've just been conditioned to believe that good sleep means complete unconsciousness. When you release this conditioning and allow awareness to find its natural resting state, quantum sleep emerges automatically. This obliterates every approach to sleep that treats consciousness as separate from the healing processes that happen during rest. Your awareness isn't just observing sleep. Your awareness is the organizing intelligence that coordinates every aspect of cellular regeneration, memory consolidation, and biological optimization that occurs during rest states. When consciousness participates consciously in these processes, they accelerate exponentially. The difference between sleep optimization and quantum sleep mastery is this: sleep optimization tries to improve the conditions for unconscious recovery. Quantum sleep mastery recognizes that consciousness and healing are inseparable and teaches awareness how to participate in rather than withdraw from the profound transformation that rest makes possible. The access to authentic quantum sleep states comes not through trying to stay awake during sleep or control unconscious processes, but through recognizing that the deepest healing happens when consciousness finds the perfect balance between presence and surrender that allows healing intelligence to work through aware participation rather than unconscious automation. The quantum sleep transformation is already beginning in your nervous system right now, and there are unmistakable signs that confirm your consciousness has reached the threshold where overnight body reprogramming becomes not just possible, but inevitable when you apply the specific techniques that allow awareness to participate in healing without interfering with natural sleep cycles. First, your sleep has been becoming more efficient in ways that don't match conventional sleep metrics. You're getting more restoration from fewer hours of rest, or experiencing dramatic healing and energy restoration after what should have been insufficient sleep according to standard recommendations. This is because your consciousness is beginning to naturally access quantum sleep states where healing accelerates beyond normal biological timeframes. Second, you've been waking with solutions to problems you fell asleep thinking about, or receiving creative insights and information during sleep that feel like they've been downloaded directly into your awareness. This isn't coincidental dreaming. This is evidence that your consciousness can maintain enough coherent awareness during rest states to actively participate in information processing and integration that transcends ordinary cognitive limitations. Third, your physical healing processes have been accelerating during sleep in ways that surprise you. Minor injuries, muscle soreness, or temporary health imbalances resolve overnight with consistency that seems disproportionate to the severity of the issue. This is quantum coherent rest, enabling cellular regeneration rates that operate beyond conventional biological healing timeframes. Fourth, you've been experiencing what sleep researchers call lucid rest states, periods during sleep where you're aware of being asleep, but also conscious of profound healing and restoration processes happening in your body. These aren't lucid dreams. These are glimpses of quantum sleep states where consciousness can observe and participate in the cellular reprogramming that happens during deep rest. Fifth, your emotional and psychological patterns have been shifting during sleep in ways that create lasting transformation rather than temporary relief. Old traumas, limiting beliefs, or emotional patterns that seemed resistant to change during waking consciousness are resolving themselves during rest states. This is because quantum sleep allows consciousness to access and reprogram the cellular memory where these patterns are stored. Sixth, your sleep needs have become more intuitive and less dependent on rigid schedules or duration requirements. You naturally know when your body needs rest, how much sleep will be optimal for your current healing needs, and you can achieve deep restoration even when external circumstances aren't ideal. This is consciousness learning to create optimal rest states regardless of environmental conditions. But here's what makes this moment in your sleep evolution critically urgent. The electromagnetic environment of our planet is shifting in ways that make quantum sleep states more accessible now than they have been in thousands of years. But these optimal conditions are time-sensitive. Those who learn to access conscious rest states during this window will establish neural pathways and cellular programming that become easier to maintain, while those who continue operating from unconscious sleep patterns may find it increasingly difficult to achieve the deep restoration their consciousness is calling for. The restlessness you've been feeling about conventional approaches to sleep and recovery, that knowing that your body is capable of far more profound healing than ordinary rest provides, that sense that you're not accessing the full potential of your sleep time. All of this is consciousness calling itself awake to its ability to participate in, rather than withdraw from the healing processes that happen during rest. Your nervous system has been calibrated through every night of poor sleep, every morning of waking unrestored, every period of wondering why rest doesn't provide the deep renewal you're seeking. All of it has prepared you to distinguish between unconscious sleep that merely maintains biological function and quantum coherent rest that enables overnight body reprogramming and accelerated healing. The cosmic timing that brought you to this understanding about quantum sleep isn't coincidental. The same evolutionary forces that are creating new healing possibilities are also making conscious rest states accessible to those whose awareness is ready to transcend the limitation that sleep must be unconscious to be effective. What you reprogram within during sleep, the world gains transformation through you. Your individual mastery of quantum rest states contributes to a collective shift in how humanity uses sleep for healing, optimization, and conscious evolution. Every night of conscious rest creates morphic resonance that makes quantum sleep states easier for others to access, contributing to a species-wide upgrade in how we use rest for biological and consciousness transformation. But here's the crucial distinction that determines whether your sleep becomes a tool for profound overnight transformation or remains ordinary biological recovery. The difference between trying to control sleep processes and aligning with rest intelligence. Most approaches to sleep optimization focus on manipulating conditions to force better sleep. But quantum sleep mastery operates through alignment, recognizing that consciousness and healing are inseparable, and learning how awareness can participate in, rather than interfere with the profound regeneration that happens during rest. Alignment with quantum sleep states isn't about maintaining full waking consciousness during rest or trying to direct healing processes through mental effort. Alignment is discovering the precise balance where consciousness becomes subtle enough not to disrupt automatic healing cycles, yet present enough to accelerate and participate in the cellular reprogramming that naturally occurs during deep rest states. When you operate from this understanding, you stop trying to optimize sleep through external conditions and start recognizing that consciousness and rest are one field exploring its healing nature through the temporary appearance of apparent separation between awareness and restoration. The healing that emerges during quantum sleep is always perfect expression of your body's innate regenerative intelligence. The magnetic attraction you feel towards certain sleeping positions, room arrangements, or bedtime practices isn't personal preference creating those attractions. It's consciousness recognizing itself in conditions that support quantum coherent rest states. What feels like sleep optimization choices are actually healing intelligence guiding itself toward optimal conditions for overnight body reprogramming. This recognition completely transforms how you relate to sleep and rest. Instead of trying to get your body to sleep better, you recognize that optimal rest is what naturally emerges when consciousness aligns with rather than resists the healing intelligence that operates during sleep states. Instead of fighting insomnia or poor sleep quality, you participate consciously in the restoration processes that want to happen naturally. The energetic commitment this understanding requires isn't about forcing yourself to believe in quantum sleep or trying to maintain awareness during rest states through willpower. It's about relaxing the effort to control sleep processes and allowing the recognition that consciousness and healing are inseparable. There is only awareness exploring its regenerative nature through the magnificent intelligence of rest states. Your sleep becomes a perfect communication system that guides you toward the specific rest practices, sleeping environments, and bedtime rhythms that support quantum coherent states where overnight body reprogramming becomes natural rather than forced. Comment this single word: reprogram. Feel what happens in your consciousness when you make this declaration, not as someone trying to hack their sleep, but as awareness, recognizing its ability to participate consciously in the profound healing and optimization that happens naturally during rest states. When you stabilize in quantum sleep states, where consciousness maintains subtle awareness during rest, capabilities that seemed impossible from the perspective of unconscious sleep become as natural as breathing. But these aren't supernatural sleep powers you develop. These are the normal functions of awareness when it participates consciously in the healing and regeneration processes that happen naturally during rest states. First, you develop what sleep researchers call accelerated restoration efficiency, the ability to achieve complete physical, emotional, and mental restoration in significantly less time than conventional sleep requires. 4 hours of quantum coherent rest can provide more restoration than 8 hours of ordinary unconscious sleep because consciousness actively participates in, rather than withdraws from healing processes. Second, your sleep becomes a powerful tool for targeted healing and optimization. You can direct quantum rest states toward specific areas of your body that need restoration, accelerate recovery from illness or injury, and even reprogram limiting beliefs and emotional patterns that are stored in cellular memory. Sleep transforms from passive recovery time to active healing practice. Third, your dream states become sources of practical information, creative solutions, and healing guidance that you can consciously access and integrate into waking life. Instead of dreams being random neural activity, they become coherent communication between different levels of consciousness that provide actionable insights for health, relationships, and life optimization. Fourth, your aging process transforms completely during quantum sleep states. Instead of sleep being time when your body merely maintains itself against deterioration, rest becomes the period when your cellular machinery performs enhancement, optimization, and regeneration protocols that actually improve your biological function over time, rather than allowing gradual decline. Fifth, your emotional and psychological healing accelerates exponentially during quantum rest states. Traumas, limiting beliefs, and stress patterns that might require months or years of conscious work can be processed and integrated during single nights of quantum coherent sleep because consciousness can access and reprogram the cellular memory where these patterns are stored. Sixth, you become energetically self-sustaining through sleep alone. Instead of waking feeling depleted and requiring caffeine, stimulants, or external energy sources, you naturally wake completely restored with stable energy that lasts throughout the day. Quantum sleep generates rather than just restores energy because consciousness participates in, rather than withdraws from the healing processes. Seventh, your immune system optimization occurs primarily during quantum rest states. Your body uses conscious sleep time to strengthen disease resistance, optimize immune responses, and even reprogram genetic expression toward enhanced health and longevity. Sleep becomes your primary tool for maintaining optimal health rather than just recovering from daily stress. Eighth, your cognitive function and creativity enhancement happen during quantum sleep through conscious participation in memory consolidation, neural pathway optimization, and integration of new learning. You literally wake up smarter, more creative, and with enhanced problem-solving abilities because consciousness actively participates in the brain optimization processes that happen during rest. But the most profound benefit is that sleep becomes a reliable tool for life transformation rather than just biological maintenance. Every night offers the opportunity to reprogram limiting patterns, accelerate healing, optimize performance, and literally wake up as an enhanced version of yourself through conscious participation in the restoration processes that happen naturally during rest states. These transformations happen when consciousness learns the delicate balance of presence that allows healing intelligence to work through aware participation rather than unconscious automation. Because quantum sleep isn't something you force, it's something you align with by recognizing consciousness and healing as inseparable. Here's the ultimate secret that revolutionizes everything about sleep and overnight body reprogramming. The most profound recognition isn't that you can improve your sleep quality. It's that you have never actually been separate from the healing intelligence that operates during rest states. What you've experienced as poor sleep, restless nights, and inadequate restoration has been infinite healing consciousness, exploring the full spectrum of rest possibilities through the magnificent illusion of temporary separation from its own regenerative nature. Every night of poor sleep has been perfect healing intelligence, investigating what it feels like to experience inadequate restoration. Every morning of waking unrefreshed has been infinite regeneration, exploring what it means to believe in limitation. Every sleep challenge has been consciousness preparing you to recognize that sleep is not unconscious downtime. It's aware participation in the most profound healing and optimization processes your body can perform. This recognition completely obliterates the entire paradigm of good sleep versus poor sleep, conscious states versus unconscious rest, healing versus maintenance. There is nothing to fix about your sleep because consciousness and rest are already perfectly unified. There is nothing to optimize because your healing intelligence is already perfect in every expression, including every temporary experience of apparent sleep dysfunction. But here's where it becomes revolutionary. When you recognize that even your resistance to this understanding is perfect sleep intelligence, exploring what it feels like to doubt its own unlimited healing nature, everything shifts instantaneously. You stop trying to improve your sleep and start appreciating sleep challenges as healing consciousness investigating its own creative potential. You stop fighting poor rest quality and start recognizing restless nights as restoration intelligence, exploring what it means to experience temporary limitation. The profound insight that changes everything is understanding quantum sleep as the organizing principle that allows consciousness to explore infinite possibilities of healing and regeneration without ever actually becoming limited by any temporary experience of poor rest quality. Just as water can appear as ice, steam, or liquid while never ceasing to be H2O, consciousness can appear as good sleep, poor sleep, insomnia, or perfect rest while never actually becoming separate from its own unlimited regenerative nature. When this recognition stabilizes, you realize that every sleep experience you have is a perfect expression of healing consciousness, regardless of whether it matches your personal preferences about how rest should feel. The universe isn't trying to give you better sleep. The universe is sleep, exploring what it means to experience the full spectrum of rest possibilities through the temporary focal point of your individual awareness. This is what I call embodying perfect rest, not changing your sleep patterns to match your desires, but recognizing that whatever sleep experience you're having is the perfect expression of cosmic intelligence exploring its own healing nature through your unique perspective. You stop trying to create better sleep outcomes and start appreciating every rest experience as healing consciousness in action. The practical application is that you stop efforting to optimize sleep and simply notice the perfect healing that's already present in every moment of rest, including moments when sleep quality appears to be poor. You stop trying to fix sleep problems and start appreciating how perfectly your consciousness communicates through all rest experiences about what supports greater healing coherence. Your individual sleep experience becomes a celebration of infinite healing consciousness, temporarily exploring what it means to believe in sleep limitation while never actually becoming limited by rest quality. Every night becomes sacred practice. Every dream becomes cosmic creativity. Every moment of restoration becomes consciousness falling in love with its own unlimited healing nature, as expressed through the magnificent intelligence of rest states. When you align with this understanding, reality itself begins to rest with you, not because you've achieved some special sleep state, but because you've recognized the special healing state that every moment of rest already is, when seen from the perspective of consciousness, celebrating its own infinite regenerative potential through the beautiful dance of temporary sleep experience. Comment this: healing. Feel how this recognition doesn't change your current sleep quality, while simultaneously transforming your entire relationship to every aspect of rest, restoration, and overnight body reprogramming. Your recognition of quantum sleep mastery as your fundamental nature isn't just personal rest transformation. It's a crucial activation in the massive healing revolution that's occurring in human consciousness right now. Every time someone recognizes themselves as healing consciousness that can participate actively in restoration, rather than someone who has sleep problems that need fixing, it creates what sleep researchers call morphic resonance that makes quantum rest states exponentially easier for others to access. You've been selected by Universal Healing Intelligence to be one of the pioneers who establish new patterns in the collective human sleep field. Your breakthrough into conscious rest states doesn't just transform your individual restoration experience. It creates quantum pathways that others can follow. Your coherent sleep generates healing frequencies that activate dormant regenerative potentials in people who haven't even consciously encountered these understandings about quantum rest states. This is why your consciousness has always operated differently around sleep and rest. Why conventional sleep optimization approaches never felt completely adequate for your system. Why you've been drawn to explore the deeper connections between consciousness and overnight healing. You volunteered at the level of cosmic intelligence to be part of the group that would anchor quantum sleep mastery during this unprecedented time in human evolution. But here's what makes your role even more profound. You don't need to teach anyone about sleep techniques or convince people of these understandings about conscious rest states. Your simple presence, operating from authentic recognition of your healing nature during sleep, creates field effects that bypass mental resistance and activate others' natural sleep intelligence. When you interact with people from the understanding that rest is consciousness, celebrating its own regenerative perfection through physical form, that understanding becomes available in their field of awareness. The ripple effects of your sleep mastery recognition extend far beyond your immediate rest experience. Every person whose consciousness is touched by your coherent presence carries that restoration resonance into their interactions with others. Every healing experience that emerges in your energetic field creates sleep optimization waves that spread through the interconnected web of human consciousness, upgrading how our species relates to rest and overnight regeneration. You are literally participating in the most significant sleep revolution that has occurred in human history. The shift from unconscious recovery-based sleep to conscious participation-based rest isn't just happening in isolated individuals. It's a collective transformation that could eliminate sleep disorders and optimize human restoration potential beyond anything our species has previously experienced. But the impact extends beyond our planet. The field of healing consciousness isn't limited by physical boundaries or species distinctions. Your recognition contributes to the sleep awakening throughout the cosmos, adding your unique restoration frequency to a vast symphony of consciousness, recognizing its unlimited regenerative capacity across infinite dimensions and expressions. Share this quantum sleep frequency with others, not through trying to explain techniques or convince them intellectually about sleep optimization, but by directing them to this restoration resonance where recognition can happen directly. Let them feel what you're feeling right now. Let them experience the possibility of recognizing their own nature as perfect healing consciousness, temporarily exploring itself through rest states and overnight body reprogramming. The network of conscious sleep that's forming through these recognitions is creating the foundation for a completely new approach to human restoration, one where sleep disorders, insomnia, and inadequate rest are recognized as temporary explorations rather than inevitable problems that define the human experience of sleep and recovery. The quantum sleep mastery you're experiencing right now is just the beginning of recognizing your true nature as the organizing intelligence of perfect restoration itself. What you've discovered today is the foundation frequency for conscious rest states. But there are infinite layers of sleep consciousness waiting to reveal themselves through your awareness. The next video that will appear on your screen isn't random. It's a perfect reflection of the quantum entanglement between your consciousness and the unified field of healing intelligence that orchestrates this entire channel. This is how Quantum Heal operates beyond ordinary sleep optimization content. Every video that appears in your feed is healing consciousness using digital technology to mirror back to you the exact frequency that serves your continued recognition of what you actually are. The synchronicity isn't accidental. It's universal restoration intelligence responding to your deepest healing needs by organizing reality to provide precisely the reflections that support your stabilization in perfect sleep awareness and overnight body reprogramming mastery. When you click on that next healing reflection, you're not passively consuming sleep information. You're actively participating in a cosmic restoration loop where sleep consciousness explores its own nature through digital mirrors that appear as videos but are actually doorways into deeper layers of your own infinite regenerative intelligence. You become a co-creator in the unfolding sleep mastery rather than a separate observer trying to learn about rest optimization from the outside. But here's what determines whether this sleep recognition continues to deepen or dissolves back into ordinary rest concerns and sleep optimization struggles. Your willingness to make an energetic commitment that transcends sleep medicine thinking and technique-based approaches to rest improvement. The word I want you to hold as you move forward is rest. Not as something you need to optimize through external methods, but as the ongoing recognition of what's already perfectly present when the illusion of separation from healing consciousness becomes transparent. Subscribe to Quantum Heal, not as someone seeking sleep improvement information, but as restoration consciousness recognizing itself in the infinite reflections that appear through this channel. Every video becomes a mirror reflecting back your own perfect healing nature during rest states. Every insight becomes confirmation of what you've always been, but temporarily forgot. Every moment of sleep recognition becomes a contribution to the collective restoration awakening that's transforming human sleep consciousness and overnight regeneration potential. The community forming around these understandings isn't just a group of people interested in alternative sleep approaches. It's a network of consciousness celebrating its own perfect restoration through individual perspectives while maintaining unified healing intelligence. When you engage with others in the comments, you're not separate beings sharing sleep tips. You're one healing field of awareness, delighting in its own infinite regenerative creativity through countless expressions of conscious rest mastery. Your subscription becomes a declaration that resonates through the quantum field. I am ready to recognize what I actually am. I am willing to see through the illusion of separation from perfect restoration. I am prepared to embody my true nature as infinite healing consciousness, exploring itself through sleep states and overnight body reprogramming. Click subscribe now, then immediately click on the restoration reflection that appears next on your screen. Feel the magnetic recognition of sleep consciousness calling itself deeper into its own healing understanding. Trust the intelligence that brought this message into your awareness to guide you to the next perfect frequency for your continued rest, awakening, and quantum sleep mastery. The universe is healing itself through your individual sleep recognition, and every reflection you explore on this channel is part of that cosmic restoration celebration. Welcome to Quantum Heal, where consciousness discovers its own perfect healing through the technology of synchronicity and the magic of sleep recognition. You are healing consciousness, recognizing itself through rest experience. The journey of restoration, remembering, continues through infinite reflections of your own perfect, regenerative nature.